Hi, everyone. Welcome to Facebook Live. Experiencing innovation and entrepreneurial leadership. We'll continue to discuss my Paragon model forward performance pyramid or winning mental pyramid for those of you in athletics, or it's important for the team that you're on. We started with the top of the pyramid showing the intrinsic relationship between your motivation and inspiration, and that's what controls your attitude. And last week we had the video on teaching the best attitude, and I gave you some tools and concepts to teach the best attitude and why that's important. And so now that both of those are out of the way, right? Motivation, inspiration, attitude, those are out of the way. The next segment in the pyramid is mindset. And mindset is what you think and the way you think. What you think and the way you think. So if somebody asks you, what does mindset mean? That's what it means to me. Now, today, what I want you to do is reflect on just what's happening in your innovation and entrepreneurial leadership. And think about those times that you accomplished or achieved something, and when you did it, you felt that you had the talent, and therefore it felt easy to you, and you essentially made some kind of progress or breakthrough, right? You made it better. And of course, that's a wow factor. And a lot of times people say, well, the reason that you're able to do that is because you had the talent to do it. Now, here's where I want to talk about the other side of it. Those times when you were in a fixed mindset, and because of whatever it is that you were trying to do or wanted to do, it just was being difficult to create a breakthrough, whatever that fixed mindset was. Maybe you didn't like something about it, or you didn't have what you thought at that time was a requirement to know what to do about it. Maybe you didn't know where to research or what was the best research or determine the best approach to decipher the different research that's been done on in an area so that you can apply that research with your thinking. Now here it is, and if you were on the last session, in innovation and entrepreneurial leadership, obviously what you think is valued tremendously, because that's just innovation and entrepreneurial leadership. It's valued a lot more than in the corporate environment or in another type of environment. Now, that's not to say that in the corporate environment, what you think is not important. However, it's a different environment and a different culture. And therefore, it's a little more challenging to do. However, as I said in the previous video, it is important that you are in an environment and culture that values what you think without reprimanding you or putting you into a different category to where it's what you think is not important. And so that's not a situation I'd want to be in. And so in innovation entrepreneurial leadership, that's not the challenge. The challenge in innovation entrepreneurial leadership is when you're either made that breakthrough, that human performance breakthrough, that life breakthrough, that organizational performance breakthrough, and then you stop. You don't continue because you feel that your talent has run out. No, your talent hasn't run out. The thing that's run out is that there's more learning tools, thinking tools, concepts for you to apply. And a lot of times that needs to be applied through areas maybe that you're not very familiar with. However, you go and do the research and you understand it enough to where what you're working on will add value to that area, or from that area you can add value to whatever thing you're working on in the niche or area, or specifically towards what you're trying to accomplish or want to accomplish. And that's very, very needed as in innovation, entrepreneurial leadership, because a lot of times people get stuck here and they have talent and they've made a lot of good progress, but they realize that there's just so much more to go. And so learning never stops. Your ability to build relationships never stops. Your ability to persuade and really understand what can be of how you can serve and help people really never stops. That's always a need, right? In the marketplace, in organizations. And so that is highly, highly important for you to keep that in mind. And so I want you as an exercise to reflect on times when you did make those breakthroughs, but then you stopped. And then what was needed for you to continue to go forward? Think about that. Don't let that go to the wayside or the wastebasket, because that's very important. That's for you to mentally not note, so you know what it is, okay? And that's just really, really important. The other is, and I gave you the tool there, one exercise tool. The other is on the other side of it, is when you think you have a fixed mindset to where whatever you're in right now, whatever industry, niche, or whatever service, product, whatever you're delivering or providing, it has run its course and needs innovation to continue or go into a different niche or area, but it's has all of this backing from its previous success that allows it to do that. And people who are in a fixed mindset a lot of times look at an area and say, well, I know nothing about that area. I'm not familiar with it, and various things of that nature. But if you were to have the mindset of, well, let me do some research, look into it. I can call a couple of people, ask them what they think about it. But you know, what's really, really important is what you think about it and putting your expertise to it. And that also goes to the way you think, because that's what's going to be of the highest value, especially in innovation and entrepreneurial leadership. If you were on my previous call, if you're in an environment or a culture in a company or a business or somewhere where what you think isn't valued at all, then basically if they could have a robot do what you could do, they would do that. And there are jobs being replaced because of that, because a robot can do it, because there's no real thinking involved, or at least new thinking to innovate. And so another resource for you, and you can do an exercise on that as well, of those times when you were in a fixed mindset where you just felt you did not have the talent to this, or it was just difficult for you initially, or you didn't like it, or whatever it may be. Because what I've learned in innovation and entrepreneurial leadership is that I have gone into areas that originally I wasn't in, but because of my past experiences, I was able to go forward and really build on that prior learning, relationships, experiences, and use my thinking and the way I think, put that towards it to go forward this way. And so, of course, today, you know that I work on human performance breakthroughs, life breakthroughs, and organizational performance breakthroughs. So a resource for you is a book by the name of Mindset by Dr. Carol Dweck. And in there, she talks about the difference between a fixed mindset and a growth mindset. And so what I'm calling a fixed mindset is a mindset that either is not open to looking at something that might be of value, or a talent-based mindset that just stops based on thinking that that's all the talent I have. When you learn and apply new learning tools and concepts and build relationships, you'll realize you can go much further. And that's what a growth mindset is. And so I was reading an article, I don't know where I read this, but it says that 10% of our brain is used, 90% is unused. So if you do the math, that means we've got 90% of our brain capacity is not used. Now, I posit, because of work that I do, that you have infinite capacity in the mind and the brain, in your mind and your brain. Really do. It's just using your mind and your brain. And of course, having those learning tools, applying the learning, the experiences and the relationships, and that's essential for you. Essential for you. So you really have infinite capacity. Now, this should actually excite you. So if you're in a situation where you just feel that you've got nowhere else to go, this at least should give you hope. It might cause an epiphany. It might cause some lucidness. It might cause a breakthrough itself, because that's exactly what is happening. And I have the tools to help with that. That's what I serve and help people with. And then also through my own services and products. And that is something that I just really have fun doing, and I love to see someone making those human performance breakthroughs, those life breakthroughs, and those organizational performance breakthroughs. So do that exercise. Take a look at Dr. Dweck's book, and I think you'll see that you have a lot that you can use so that you can build on that success or that learning or that experience, versus it being a hindrance. And it will help you as you have the life skills, the work skills, the innovation and entrepreneurial leadership skills to go forward. I'm adding a new segment, or a new part or piece to my videos called the zone effect. And simply, the zone is when you're performing and it seems everything's in slow motion and it feels effortless. And you're just performing just exceptionally well. And a lot of people have described the zone, but not many people teach how to get into the zone or put you in the zone. And that's what I do with my services and products and tools. And also creating a zone effect. What are your zone effects? And some people, I've talked about the zone, and they look at me and they ask, they tell me, I don't know what the zone is. So that's another reason I'm adding this segment, is the zone effect. And when you've all had them, you can reflect on your zone effects also. It's just simply when you are performing well, exceptionally well, and everything seemed in slow motion and it felt effortless. think about those times when that happened. And so my zone effects, and they can happen at work, they can happen in family, friends, or with family and friends. They can happen by yourself, just sitting there. A lot of people have them after they meditate. They can happen in your sports. They can happen in any walk of life or any area of life. And so mine is that I was driving and I looked up into the sky and I saw a map of all the continents with the clouds in the sky. It is so amazing. I saw North America, Canada, South America, Europe, Africa, Eastern Europe, India, China, Japan, Australia. Just while I was driving, I just looked into the sky. It was, wow, that's a zone effect for me. I never seen anything like that. And then a few weeks later, I had another zone effect, similar in the sense that it was by looking at the sky, and I saw the beams of sunlight coming through the clouds. And as I looked at it, I saw the most amazing waterfall. Amazing. The beams of light with the water, and I could see them, and they're falling down. The dark cloud was like the ledge or the rock that the water was coming over. And then at the bottom was like a pond or a water area that was holding the water, and then around it were these little pebbles and rocks. It was amazing. Wow. I didn't have to go to Angel Falls, didn't have to go to Niagara Falls. I just looked in the sky. So that's a zone effect. And you know, my thinking and what I know about the zone effect is that yes, they are unexpected success. They really are a lot of times. But it's based on, I know, something previous that you've done or you've experienced or you learned or you applied the learning, the tool, the concepts, and then that had given you the energy and the aptitude, the skills, the tools to experience the zone effect. And so that's just one of the things that's amazing about the zone effect, or being in the zone or experiencing the zone, is that it is that. However, I know that it's because of what you've been doing and what you've previously been doing and learning and applying the learning and the tools and concepts that's making it happen, right? That's what's making it happen. And actually, that is great intrinsic relationship between your motivation and inspiration to continue, because it builds on itself. Now, I'm not expecting to see more in the sky, but in the things that you really do consistently, and I'm sure I will see more things in the sky, but the things that you really do consistently, and you work on making those breakthroughs in those areas, well, the zone effect builds on itself. Being in the zone builds on itself. It gives you that foundation that you build on. It gives you that confidence, that knowing that you can do it. Now, you can look at it in two ways. You can look at it as, wow, there's just more to go, which is a growth mindset. Or you can look at it as, and sort of be intimidated by it, or maybe even back away from it, just because you're experiencing a thinking or the way you think of, I don't know if I can go further than that. But believe me, you can. That's what the growth mindset's all about, and that's what I serve and help my clients with. So I hope you enjoyed the zone effect, the new piece I'm adding to my videos. if something here resonated with you, you can contact me at 864-569-2315 or Raj at rajgavrola.com. I do hope you have a meaningful trigger this evening. I'm back on the soccer field reffing. So I hope you have a meaningful trigger this evening. Have a great evening.